Ladies and gentlemen, I guess high time is already over. So we can start right away for the last session in this group. So in this last session, there will be 4 talks. All of them are from Department of Biology, Institute of Technology, 10 November. And so the first talk, so I will just call one by one and then start right away for the presentation. So the first talk will be about in silico study of the natural pyridoacridine against CKD2 and CDK6 cancer. And it will be presented by Fitri Lianingsih. So Ms. Fitri Lianingsih, please take your time to present your research.
Okay, thank you for
the duration
opportunity.
Will be around 8 or 10 until 10 minutes.
Okay. I permit to share my screen from my laptop.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Fitri Lianingsih. I am from Department of Biology, Faculty of Science and Data Analytics, Institut Teknologi 10 November, Surabaya. Today, I would like to present about my review study. It's about in silico study from the natural pyridoacridine against CDK2 and CDK6 in cancer. And this is the table of contents that we have discussed. The first is about introduction, the second is about methodology, and the third is about result and discussion, and the last is about conclusions. Okay, we can begin the introduction. Cancer is the deadliest disease and leading mortality in the worldwide. And the number of the cases cancer in the world per year is predicted up to...
Sorry, could you please make it slideshow? Can you slideshow the presentation so we can see it more clear? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then cancer is overproliferation of the cell that can be controlled by cell cycle. And based on the data, that lung cancer and liver cancer are the biggest causes of the death. And the damage of the cell cycle regulatory checkpoint, we can call CDK2 and CDK6. Sorry. CDK2 and CDK6. CDK2 can be binding with cyclin E, and CDK6 can bind with cyclin D. But CDK2 just control the G1 phase and S phase, while cyclin D and CDK6 can control just G1 phase and retinoblastoma protein. Why we must to study about CDK? Because the kinase activity is higher in hepatocellular carcinoma than non-liver tumor liver tissue in 84% of the cases for CDK2. So we must to define CDK2 and CDK6 inhibitor are being developed as new therapeutic strategy in cancer development. And then we go move to natural product play an important role as inhibitor cancer candidate because more than 60% of the anti-cancer agent are derived from natural compound potential candidate. For example, pyridoacridine was part of the some pigments such as afaramine, phyolysine, ampimidine, neoampimidine, fascalipsin, monaskin, sinicomycin that have anti-cancer potential. In the study, we can determine pyridoacridine containing natural anti-cancer pigment, or we can call PCNPS. And then this is the selected species and natural product compound. There are 3 types, ampimidine, deoxyampimidine, and neoampimidine from the different sponge. For example, Cystospongia and ampimidone species. While meridine from Corticium niger and Faramin A from Lysoclium vareo. And then this is the structure of pyridoacridine. The basic structure of Pyridoacridine include alkaloid and have a pyridine ring in here, and mostly highly planar electron deficient aromatic ring, so that can good interaction between intercalate DNA and cell growth. And this is the most structure of pyridoacridine analog. They must have pyridine ring, so that can good candidate to drug design. And this is the study. Meridian compound from Amphicarpa meridiana have antifungal and antitumor activity, while Varamin A, where isolate from the Fijian Ascidian Lysoplume vareo, can exhibit cytotoxicity of leukemia cell. And neoampimidine from Cestos pongiae has ability to stimulate TOPO2 to catenate DNA to high molecular weight complex. So we can assume that pyridoacridine derivatives are good candidates for design drug as anti-tumor and anti-cancer activity. And this is the objective of this study. The first one is to find out the potential of PCNPS as anti-cancer. And the second one to analyze the amino acid interaction between PCNPS and CDK2 and CDK6. Okay, we can move to the methodology. The first one, we must do preparation of the protein and ligand, the 3G structure of CDK2 and CDK6 from the protein data bank or pdb.org. And the 3G structure of the drug candidate was drawn using software Maestro, on we can download from the PubChem website. After that, we can measure the docking score. The energy affinity of the PCNPS and the target protein was carried out with a grid score. After that, we must to measure the score validation. The protein structure was minimized to RMSD less than 2. And then after that, we must to define what the interaction between amino acid residue from the ligand and our target protein. And the interaction between ligand and amino acid, we can use the grid software because we can define active site in here. And this is the result and discussion. This is the principle of docking. Why we use to docking molecular as a tool to drug design? Because basically molecular docking is one of the most frequently used method in the structure-based drug design, with very useful and easy. This is the target in the black color and ligand in the green color. We can match in together to make it complex. And after that, we can predict binding affinity between two molecules and estimate energy affinity or energy of the pose. After that, we can analyze what the amino acid interaction between the ligand and protein target. And this is the role of CDK in cancer. In CDK2 especially, CDK2 can be cell cycle progression and maintain interaction in RB or retinoblastoma protein, also can control G1 up to S phase. While CDK6 is a mediator complex, it can control the transcription factor. So CDK2 and CDK6 is very important to know about the interaction in design of the drug. And then this is the table of docking score PCNPS against CDK2 and CDK6. Docking has been successful performed between PCNPS with CDK2 and CDK6. The docking results show that meridine is the most potent compound among the other pyridoacridine analogs. Because in here, we know that low energy affinity is minus 6.21. It can be compared with the inhibitor CDK2, minus 8.997, and meridine against CDK6, minus 9.53. Can compare with inhibitor CDK6 minus 8.066. So based on the data, we know that meridine was one of the pyridoacridine analog that potential of inhibitor in CDK2 and CDK6 in cancer. And after we know that energy affinity, so what the amino acid interaction between the PCNPS against CDK2 and CDK6, and here the answer that amino acid interaction between meridine in CDK2 and CDK6 is different. Meridine, when complex with CDK2, can good interaction because any leucine in here. While meridine against CDK6, good interaction because any amino acid like valine. After that, we must know about what the roles of the leucine and valine in interaction between CDK. And this is the answer. Leucine and valine have a different role because leucine roles in initiate mitochondrial metabolism, especially to increase the P43 signaling and increase caspase-3. So we can know that the leucine is very helpful in cancer therapy. In valine, it can be good candidate to inhibitor CDK because it can control the level progression of the cancer. So in the future, maybe we can mix together leucine and valine, also meridine, to control the level progression of the cancer. And this is the principal mechanism action of the alkaloid. There are 5 principal mechanism action of antitumor marine alkaloid. Basically, in the alkaloid marine alkaloid in sponge, like neoampimidine, ampimidine, and deoxyampimidine, it can binding together with the CDK or the other protein and can inhibit topo-2 isomerase. While meridine just can inhibit the protein kinase inhibitors. In case it can inhibit CDK2 in CDK6 in cancer. So we can assume that the principal mechanism of meridine as protein kinase inhibitor. And then this is the conclusion of this study. In summary, PCNPS or especially meridine can be potential of anti-cancer drug to develop with another therapy. And the amino acid residue like leucine and valine can be important to interact with the CDK2 and CDK6. And the mechanism action of the meridine can be enhanced of level apoptosis, yeah, and can inhibit protein kinase in cancer. And the benefit of this study, especially in the docking, PCNPS or meridine as new candidate drug potential as inhibitor cancer. In this result can continue to study the effectivity of PCNPS compound with in vivo and in vitro research. Okay, that's all about my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentation. We will continue for the next presenter, and the topic will be about in silico docking analysis of glycindolina 1 compound against the selective protein of HEPG2 cell line. And it will be presented by Adik Mayang Indiani. For Miss Adik Mayang Indiani, please take your time to present your research. Is Adik Mayang in this room or currently not here? I don't think so. So we will move forward, maybe while waiting for the second presenter. We will go further for the third talk with the title Anti-Cancer Activity of Tricidolina 1 by Inducing Apoptotic Pathway Through Phosphorylated P53 Protein Expression. And it will be presented by Andina Hasana. For Andina Hasana, please take your time to present your research.
Thank you, moderator. I would like to share my screen, if it's possible.
For Mbak Amelia, please. Yeah, you already co-host. Thank you. So you can share your screen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining this session. I'm Andina from Biology Department of ITS Indonesia, and I'm here today in behalf of our team, Dr. Awi Puji Jahnur Hayati MSc and Professor Magdi Santoso, to present to you about review on anti-cancer activity of Trisindorina-1 by inducing apoptotic pathway through phosphorylated p53 protein expression. What will we discuss further are about cancer and p53 protein, apoptosis in mitochondrial pathway, indole-based drugs, and finally about possible pathway of Trisindorina-1. Cancer, as we know, cancer is one of the leading cause of mortality worldwide that have 9.5 million total deaths in 2018 according to global cancer statistics. At first, cancer were only observed in certain occupations such as coal-tar distiller, dye worker, radiologists, and many others. After 100 years of studies in cancer and improvement in human standard of living, now the likely cause of cancer are lifestyle and bad environmental exposure. This includes dietary, such as imbalance of nutrition intake. Take example, our daily food now are high on sugar and saturated fat. This will cause obesity and rising adipose inflammation risk. Other factors are we unconsciously might consuming carcinogenic substance such as burnt food, alcohol, and we might have hormone control drugs like contraception. Other factors are our habit or daily activity, where we might having insufficient physical activity or smoking. The environmental might also contribute in invoking cancer. This including radiation such as UV radiation, pollution, and inhaling carcinogenic substance such as tobacco smoke, asbestos, and diesel exhaust from generators. All of these carcinogens are damaging DNA from accumulation of oxidative stress or altering the DNA itself, which then give rise to cancer cells. Now, how do we define cancer cells? According to Hanahan and Weinberg in 2011 and Sartar et al. In 2013, there are several characteristics of cancer cells. First, it has uncontrolled cell growth and proliferation. In fact, in a severe degree, cancer cell might invasive and undergo metastasis, having eradicative immortality, angiogenesis, might avoiding cell death, avoiding immune destruction, having genomic instability and mutation or alteration, and have the ability to reprogram energy metabolism in our body. So, in this study, we focus on avoiding cell death, particularly apoptosis. These characteristics are crucial for cancer cell survival. This point specifically for apoptosis pathway that regulated by p53 protein. So, what is the p53 protein? P53 protein are tumor suppressors that regulate cellular stress response. These proteins are tetrameric with 4 subunits and act as transcription factor. The 4 subunits are transactivation domain that consists of TAD1 and 2, which bind to MDM2. MDM2 are the negative regulator of p53 and its activity are modulated by post-translational modification. Next to TAD domain are the proline-rich domain, which mediate protein interaction in signal transcription and play a role in p53 mediated apoptosis. Next are DNA binding domain that interact with DNA molecule by binding to the major group of the DNA with induced with mechanism. But this region is also have a high rate mutation region. Next are oligomerization domain or OD. They're responsible for folding the entire protein into tetramer. Also help to deform DNA that has been bound to p53. So thus, this facilitates DNA binding domain for stable binding of DNA. Last domain is the C-terminal domain or CTD. This domain modulates the p53 function and is level by post-translational modification. From what we discussed, it is clear that post-translational modifications are important for activating and regulating p53. So, what are the post-translational modifications? It refers to the reversible or irreversible chemical change on protein after translation and is crucial for modulating the structure and function of protein. Several post-translational modifications in p53 itself are phosphorylation, acetylation, methylation, ubiquitination, and many others. Here we focus on phosphorylation. Phosphorylation involves addition of phosphate into R group in protein, which then give rise to protein activation. So, what are the inducers of this mechanism? Several studies have said that radiation such as UV are non-induced PTM in p53 by serine 33 and 46 by p38 kinase. In response to severe DNA damage, several studies also found that phosphorylation at serine 46 are required for activation of pro-apoptosis factors such as p53-AIP1, HIPK2, and ATM that will trigger activation of other protein needed to execute apoptosis. And what's wrong and what's went wrong and make cancer? As we discussed above, p53 DNA binding domain, both in gene and in protein itself, are prone to mutation, such as missense mutation, deletion, insertion, etc. This might lead to failure to produce a functionally right protein, or the protein might gaining new properties, such as rapid cell division. If damaged DNA fail to bound by p53 and continue to divide, they will ignoring checkpoint and apoptosis, which will lead to cancerous cells. So, how is the normal response of cell when damaged DNA are present? Cellular stress caused by UV, chemical pollution, and other carcinogenic substances will result in DNA damage. If the DNA damage are present in the low level, a small amount of p53 will be activated and inducing cell cycle that lead to DNA repair. But if this damage is severe or maybe persists in a long time, this might lead to inducing or upregulate the pro-apoptotic factor and inhibiting anti-apoptotic protein, which leads to execution of apoptosis. But how cancerous cells respond to this apoptosis mechanism? First, the cancer cell will increase the anti to pro-apoptotic protein ratio. In other words, anti-apoptotic protein will be increased, or it will inactivate p53 through mutation. This leads to impaired PTM or post-translational modification in correct place and correct way. That will this found to correlate in tumor cell survival and apoptosis resistance. Therefore, the involvement of p53 and apoptosis in cancer are beneficial as target for development of cancer drugs. Current trends are using natural bioactive substance for producing anti-cancer drugs such as alkaloid, phenols, flavonoid, and many other substances. So we will talk about indole. Indole are part of alkaloid family that are reported as scaffold with bicyclic.
Sorry, could you make it a bit faster because we have a limited time?
Okay, thank you. These indole scaffold are important elements in natural and synthetic molecule as it exhibits a range of biological and pharmacological activities. It is naturally abundant, especially in vegetable of Brassicaceae family, found in bacteria and marine sources. A new resource from marine source are trisindole, which are the product of symbiosis of Vibrio sp with Hirtios altum sponge. It consists of indole trimer and has been successfully modified, synthesized, and developed. Trisindole has a high toxicity level, which leads to extensive research on derivatives with substituent. One of the substitution modifications are with halogen atom in oxindole at carbon 5 that enhance activity against several cancer cell line that has been reported by Nurhayati in 2018 through HEB2 cell line 41, T47D, and so on. This high cytotoxic level might originate from indole metabolism such as indoxil, oxindole, isatin, and indirubin. Isatin and its derivatives are endogenous, present in minuscule concentration, such as in blood, brain, liver, etc. It binds to several proteins and inhibits its activity. Thus, exhibits various biological activities. This also occurs to indirubin and its derivatives. These two compounds are known to downregulate the BCL2, inducing expression of BAX protein, increasing caspase-3, inhibit CDK, ERK, AKT, and STAT3 protein, and arrest cell cycle at S and G2M phase. Based on this, we summarize possible pathway of trisindolina 1. First, trisindolina will induce cellular stress that will release P53 into the nucleus. In a low level, this will inhibit CDK and inducing cell cycle arrest. But in persistent releasing, this will downregulate the BCL2 and recruiting BAX, which lead to disruption of mitochondrial membrane integrity that releasing cytochrome C and activate, and this will activate caspase protein cascade and lead to apoptosis. The next mechanism are by inducing cellular stress. This will accumulate HIPK2 or phosphorylating the ATM, which stabilize the DYRK2 and leads to disrupting MDM2 or with P53 complex. That once again leads to a transcription of apoptotic genes and leads to apoptosis. The last pathway, trisindolina 1, will disrupt ERK signaling that inhibit the transmigration of ERK to nucleus, which will inactivate transcription factor and arresting cell proliferation and cell growth. In conclusion, apoptosis, which regulated by P53 protein, is one of the vital pathways to inhibit cancer cells through chemopreventive agents. And indole groups are non-cytotoxic towards several cancer cell lines through apoptosis pathway, and its derivatives are being developed. One of these again are trisindolina, an indole-based compound from marine source, and its derivatives, such as trisindolina 1, were report potential as anti-cancer agent towards several cancer cell lines. And recent study in trisindolina 1 were able to determine that the cell that we induce are the apoptosis pathway. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Andina Hasana. Because the second presenter is also still not here in the room, so we'll just go directly to the last talk with the title Molecular Docking of Cyclin-Dependent Kinase 2 with trisindolin 1 for anti-cancer mechanism, and it will be presented by Mr. Andi Srihandoko. For Mr. Andi Srihandoko, please take your time. Is he not here?
I'm sorry, sir. It seems like Mr. Andis is not here.
Okay, so there will be no second and fourth presenter. So we have only 2 talks or 2 presentations. Anyone has question, you can raise your hand, then you can directly ask to the presenter. Still no question? So while waiting, I have one question for each of the presenter. For Ms. Fitri, the presentation was very nice. I'm currently wondering or curious about the in silico study that you did. With your in silico study, with the parameters that you investigated, such as the binding affinity, the RMSD value, and etc. Can you really define or determine whether pyridoacridine has an inhibitory or enhancing effect on CDK2 and 6? And for Ms. Andina, I'm curious about how specific is trisindolina 1. Will it not affect the healthy cells, or will it not induce the apoptosis in the healthy cells also? Thank you. Maybe for Ms. Fitri can answer first.
Okay, thank you for your question. The first, I would like to explain about the methods, like.
You can also share screen again if you want.
Okay. Okay, and this is the method that used to know about the docking score and validation, also the interaction. The pyridoacridine is one of the alkaloid, so most of the metabolism, secondary metabolism from the marine organism, like pyridoacridine, and we know that this PCNPS or pyridoacridine, we know the energy affinity from the docking score, like this. So after we know about the preparation between the protein and then the ligand, we must to know about the comparative with the other inhibitor like this. After we know about the score, the docking score, after that we must to define about the validation with RMSD. And the RMSD, we know this measure from the software. So the docking score and the score validation, it can together. So we know about the docking score, also the score validation. After that, we can know about the interaction between the ligands and amino acid. And in pyridoacridine, especially in here, we know the interaction between different molecules, like maybe we can define in another component like flavonoid and the other secondary metabolites to know about what the really interaction in amino acid in here. For example, in here, leucine and valine. So after that, we know that the specific role of the amino acid. After that, we can determine the main function of this amino acid. For example, leucine in meridian and CDK2, and valine in meridian and CDK6. And we know that different interaction because the meridian in here, this can with good binding with hydrogen bond and with the pyridine ring in here. So it good interaction. And after that, we know about the, maybe we can assume that leucine and valine in here can enhance apoptosis level because it can inhibit the protein kinase, and protein kinase can control the cell cycle progression. And cell cycle progression can maintain the level of proliferation. I think that's about my answer.
Thank you for your answer, because I also did similar, not really similar, I also did research in using in silico method. And I also measured the binding affinity, the interaction of the amino acids, and also the RMSD. And actually, we cannot really determine the effect, whether it acts as an agonist or antagonist. For that, we can only study the interaction. But yeah, that's very interesting study. Thank you for your answer. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, for the second question, please, Miss Andina, take your time to answer the question.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, but I don't understand your second question. How trisindolina is specific and will it affect the normal cell or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, in this study, we still doesn't know, and this substance are still under study and experiment. The last experiment were conducted in HepG2 cancer cell in 2019. It shows that trisindolina 1 are able to upregulate the p53 protein, cytochrome C, and caspase 3 that shows in Wilson blotting, and shows that the cancer cell are undergo apoptosis based on flow cytometry. And it's able to inhibit proliferation of HepG2. But we still don't know whether this pathway are only in mitochondrial pathway, or this will also affect the death receptor pathway.
Okay. So there is still no study about trisindolin effect using normal cells, not the cancer cell lines, for example, the keratinocyte cell line or human embryonic kidney cell line. There is still no study.
In that study in 2019, we use the cell as the representative of normal cell, and it shows that the cell only affected when we treat the with trisindolina in higher concentration. But in its IC50, the cell is still fine.
Okay.
So it can be concluded that these compounds are safe for the normal cell.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer, Miss Andina.
Thank you.
If there is no other questions from the audience, we can close this session. But before closing this session, first I need to announce about the closing ceremony, that you can see the link in the chat or in the WhatsApp group also. Please join afterwards, and we need also take photo, right, Miss Mbak Amel? Yeah, for the photo session, it will be led by Mbak Amel.
Yes, Mr.
Silakan.
Okay, I'll answer the question. So, okay, please turn on your camera. 1, 2, 3. So, for the acting page, first is all cost. Thank you. And
Yeah, thank you very much for your attention, all presenters and audiences. You can leave this room and join the group F, I guess. Yeah. Thank you very much. I close this session. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Amel, maybe you can also end the meeting if it's already over. I think it's fine to end the meeting.
Okay, Mister. Thank you.
Thank you.